So what is the difference between all the three? In second chapter, difference between body and the soul has been emphasized. A person comes to know, I am not the body, I am soul. And then afterwards in the seventh chapter, the constitution of this body is also understood, how this body is made up of. And then the glimpse of Bhakti has been introduced in the seventh chapter. But when you come to ninth chapter, one comes to understand, oh, Krishna is also a person. He eats. Was he saying, no, whatever you eat, you give me? The most confidential knowledge. That means he is also a person as much as a living entity is a person, because the difference between body and soul has been understood. But again, how the body is made up of Bhumira Ponalo Vayu, Kammano Buddhi Devacha, all these things. Four persons come to Krishna, four persons don't come to Krishna. That category also we have understood. That means there is distinct difference between Krishna and the living entity. First thing. Four people come to Krishna, four people don't come to Krishna. That means there is some difference or not. And then when it comes to ninth chapter, Krishna is a person. He eats, he speaks, he takes. All these things have been very nicely, elaborately explained. Now just let us see 9.11. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam param bhamajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. When I listen, Krishna says, people think that I am Manushya. Avajanti mamudha. They're all mudhas, they're all fools. They think that I am a human. Because when I assume a human form, people have a misunderstanding that I am a human. They don't know param bhavam ajananto. My transcendental nature is unknown to them. Avajananto. Mama bhuta maheshwaram. They also are unaware that I am that supreme proprietor, Maha Ishwaram. I am the controller. So in this way, who is a mudha? Because four type of people don't come to Krishna. In that, Namam Dushkritano Mudha. Mudha is this category. When they come, one of the category of Mudha is this also. They consider Krishna's body to be an ordinary body, a Mudha. He is also a Mudha. Maya Pratagyana, that person is also Mudha. That category, Maya Pratagyana, has been spoken here. When we say Namam Dushkritano Mudha Prapadante Naradhama, that Mudha is a donkey who is always working. And here Mudha is Maya Pratagyana. His eyes are covered by Maya. He thinks that Krishna's body is also made up of material elements. Okay. Gaurang, read.
Ajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Translation: Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Purport: From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The Personality of Godhead, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation, cannot be a human being. Yet there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely a powerful man and nothing more. Actually, he is the original Supreme Personality, as is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord. There are many Ishvaras, controllers, and one appears greater than another. In the ordinary management of affairs in the material world, we find some official or director, and above him there is a secretary, and above him a minister, and above him a president. Each of them is a controller, but one is controlled by another. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the supreme controller. There are many controllers undoubtedly, both in the material world and spiritual world. But Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, and his body is Satchid Ananda, non-material. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in previous verses. His body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Although he is not a common man, the foolish deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called here Manushim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna's, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways he is acting just like an ordinary man, but actually his body is Sachidananda Vigraha, eternal bliss and knowledge absolute. This is confirmed in the Vedic language also. Sachidananda Rupaya Krishnaya. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is the eternal blissful form of knowledge. There are other descriptions in the Vedic language also. Tam ekam govindam. You are Govinda, the pleasure of the senses and the cows. Sachidananda Vigraham. And your form is transcendental, full of knowledge, bliss and eternality. Despite the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna's body, its full bliss and knowledge, there are many so-called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as an ordinary man. A scholar may be born an extraordinary man due to his previous good work, but this conception of Sri Krishna is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore he is called a Mudha, for only foolish persons consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be and that he can award liberation to anyone. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Nor do they know that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of his internal energy. He is the master of the material energy. As has been explained in several places, Mama Maya Duratyaya, he claims that the material energy, although very powerful, is under his control, and whoever surrenders unto him can get out of the control of this material energy. If a soul surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and handlation of the whole cosmic nature, have a material body like us? So this conception of Krishna is complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that this personality of God, Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all the atoms and the gigantic manifestation of the universal form. The biggest and the minutest are beyond their conception, so they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. It is clearly stated concerning his Yoga Maheshwaram, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the infinite and the finite, those who are pure devotees accept this, for they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord. There are many controversies between the impersonals and the personals about the Lord's appearance as a human being. But if we consult Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the authoritative texts for understanding the science of Krishna, then we can understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary man, although he appeared on this earth as an ordinary human. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, when the sages headed by Shaunaka inquired about the activities of Krishna, they said, Krutavan kila karmani saharamena keshava atimatyani bhagavan gura kapatamanushaha. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balaram, played like a human being, and so masked he performed many superhuman acts. The Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. No human being could perform the wonderful acts that Krishna performed while he was present on this earth. When Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared with 4 hands, but after the prayers of the parents he transformed himself into an ordinary child. As stated in the Bhagavatam, Babuva Prakruta Shishu, he became just like an ordinary child, an ordinary human being. Now, here again it is indicated that our Lord's appearance as an ordinary human being is one of the features of his transcendental body. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also it is stated that Arjuna prayed to see see Krishna's form of 4 hands. Tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena. After revealing this form, Krishna, when petitioned by Arjuna, again assumed his original human-like form, Manusham Rupam. These different features of the Supreme Lord are certainly not those of an ordinary human being. Some of those who deride Krishna and who are infected with the Mayavadi philosophy quote the following verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam to prove that Krishna is just an ordinary man. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma avastita sada. The Supreme is present in every living entity. We should better take note of this particular verse from the Vaishnava Acharyas like Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, instead of following the interpretation of unauthorized persons who deride Krishna. Jiva Goswami, commenting on this verse, says that Krishna, in his plenary expansion as Paramatma, is situated in the moving and the non-moving entities as the Supersoul. So any neophyte devotee who simply gives his attention to the Archa Murti, the form of the Supreme Lord in the temple, and does not respect other living entities, is uselessly worshipping the form of the Lord in the temple. There are 3 kinds of devotees of the Lord, and the neophyte is in the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity in the temple than to other devotees. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura warns that this sort of mentality should be corrected. A devotee should see that because Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, every body is the embodiment or the temple of the Supreme Lord. So as one offers respect to the temple of the Lord, he should similarly properly respect each and every body in which the Paramatma dwells. Everyone should therefore be given proper respect and should not be neglected. There are also many impersonalists who deride temple worship. They say that since God is everywhere, why should one restrict himself to temple worship? But if God is everywhere, is he not in the temple or in the deity? Although the personalist and the impersonalist will fight with one another perpetually, a perfect devotee in Krishna consciousness knows that although Krishna is the Supreme Personality, is all-pervading, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Although his personal abode is Goloka Vrindavan and is always staying there, by his different manifestations of energy and by his plenary expansion, he is present everywhere in all parts of the material and spiritual creation. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So the proof which has been given in different places by different acharyas that Krishna, though he appears like a human, he is not a human. He is transcendental. He doesn't have a human body. Moghasha Mogha Karmaru Jnanam Chetasah Rakshasi Masurim Chaiva Prakriti Mohin Shitaha Moghasha Mogha Karmaru. What happens? Asha. All their hopes, Mogha, are fulfilled. All their activities are also fulfilled. Fulfilled means they're fooled. Their knowledge is also baffled. They are bewildered because they are asuric. They are attracted by these asuric and atheistic views. Prakriti mohinim shitaha. In this way, they have taken ashraya of the moha. This mohini, this prakriti has bewildered them. So the culture of knowledge is defeated. Everything is defeated. Whoever considers Krishna as an ordinary person, whoever considers Krishna, body is made up of It's just a matter. Our body is made up of matter. Or he appears like a human, that he's a human. Then all his hopes are shattered. Every activity is shattered. Hopes are shattered. And they follow demonic views. They are attracted to artistic views. Okay, so I can read. Possible to read.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandvat Pranam, text number 12. मोघाशा मोघ कर्माणो मोघ ज्ञान विचेतसः राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Purport. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service going back to Godhead will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive, pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demoniac cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, is always baffled. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brihad Vishnu Smriti clearly states, Yo veti bhautikam deham krishnasya paramatmanah sa sarvasmad bahishkaryah श्रौतस्मार्थ विधानतः मुखं तस्यावलोक्यापि सचेलं स्नानमाचरेत्. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So where they will remain? They will remain only in the darkest region of illusion. Just give me 2 minutes. महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रितः भजन्यमनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Generally, we chant this, we discuss this word October 2nd. What is October 2nd? Duratma's birthday. He is not Mahatma. He is Duratma. Prabhupada says. Gandhiji is Duratma. So, why Duratma? Because he has not taken Daivim Prakriti. Who is a Mahatma? Who can be called as a Mahatma? Daivim Prakritim Ashitaha. Whoever has taken the shelter of Daivi Prakriti. That is Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada is to request Mahatma Ji that chant, chant. This much politics is not good. But why will he chant? He is actually Muslim by nature. He's a Muslim actually. So many articles have been come. He was a Muslim in disguise. Why will he chant? So Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashita Bhajanya Mananya Manaso. Who is a Mahatma who always Bhajanya? Bhaj Shabd word comes from the root word service. Bhaj means to serve. Bhaj means not just bhajan. Bhaj means to serve. And how to serve? Ananya Manasaha. Unalloyed devotional service. Ananya Manasaha. Then Gyatva Bhutadim Abhyayam. Then he can understand Gyatva. Bhuta Adim Avyam. That I am the original person. I am the origin for everyone. And I'm Avyayam. I'm inexhaustible. Avyayam. I don't fall from my position. I am inexhaustible. I am eternal. All this eternity of Lord. At the same time, the eternal nature, the transcendental nature can be understood only by a Mahatma. So who is a Mahatma? Who serves Lord without any motives. That person is Mahatma. Rajit Prabhu, please read. Rajit Prabhu is Mahatma. Read.
महात्मनस्तु मां पार्थ देवीं प्राकृतिं आश्रितः भजन्त्यनन्यो मनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्. O son of Pratap, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Purport. In this verse, the description of Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the seventh chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once become freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attached by Krishna's other features, such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of demigod or a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unwavering unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
So we are not attracted to even four-armed Krishna. They are attracted only two-armed Krishna. They love Krishna so much. Daivim Prakriti Mashata. They love Krishna. So the highest love is when a person is attracted to the sweetness of Krishna rather than the opulence of Krishna. There is always a fight between Dwarkavasis and Vrindavanvasis. Both are attracted to two hand only. Dwarkavasi says he is our Krishna. Vrindavanvasi says, oh, keep quiet, he is our Krishna. And Dwarkavasi says, why did he leave you all and go? They said that is only temporary. Vrindavan Vasis, they say Krishna is always eternal with us. He did not leave even a step out of Vrindavan. Vrindavanam padam ekam na jagachati. This way they always fight. Devotees, they have transcendental fight, keeping Krishna in the center. For everything, Krishna in the center. Even for the fight also, Krishna is in the center. Now, in this way, satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha durvataha namasantascha mam bhaktyaha nityayukta upasate. What they are doing? Satatam kirtayanto mam. They are always chanting Krishna's name, always absorbed in Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantaha drudavataha. They are always endeavoring to worship me, endeavoring to serve me. How? Drudavrataha. This drudata is very important in service. Till we are not determined, we can never progress. Determination is the one of the characteristics of progress in devotional service. Saha nishtayat dhairyat tatkarma pravartana sangatyaga sato vritte sharvir bhakti prasidhati. How to grow in devotional service? Utsaha should be there. First, there should be utsaha. What do you call utsaha? Enthusiasm. Which enthusiasm? Enthusiasm for doing positive and loving work for Krishna. That enthusiasm should be there. And then drita should be there. That means fixed up. He is not deviating. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. This way he is offering of his senses. And how? With devotion. Bhaktya means with devotion. And in this way he is always connected. Nityayuktaha upasate. Okay? So 14 verse. Riya, read.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रता नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Purport: the Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord, praising his holy name, his eternal form, his transcendental qualities, and his uncommon pastimes. One has to glorify all these things. Therefore, a Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is attached to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmajyoti, is not described as Mahatma in the Bhagavad Gita. He is described in different way in next verse. The Mahatma is always engaged in different activities of devotional service as described in Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and chanting about Vishnu, not a demigod or human being. That is the devotion. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, and Smaranam, remembering him. Such a Mahatma has firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord in any one of the five transcendental rasas. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily, and vocal, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is called full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadashi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mode. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. he can live this life in a devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, in any position and anywhere in the world. He can perform his devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. Hare Krishna.
Next. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते तत्त्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्. So, jnana yajnena, that means by cultivation of knowledge, jnana yajnena. So what others do, they perform sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge. In this way they worship Krishna. Ekatvena pruthatvena. They don't see Krishna as some duality. They see oneness. Even in duality, they see oneness. Bahuda Vishwatomukam. So in diversity also, as diversity is many in many and in the universal form, they only see Krishna one without second. Krishna is in one person. So much of diversity. He is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So much of diversity is there, isn't it? Krishna is present as Brahman everywhere. Krishna has multifarious universes. So many faces also he has in the universal form. So many hands he has in the universal form. But still, a person who has practiced the cultivation of knowledge, he sees Krishna as that one person. One person. Okay? Anupama, read. Anupama. Okay. Gaurang, read. Chandrapati Prabhu is
Gnana,
free. 1 minute, 1 minute. Chandrapati Prabhu is free. You can also read, Prabhu. Okay, no one is free. You
Traveling
okay, okay.
outside.
Gaurang, no problem. Gaurang, please read.
welcome. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतोमुखम्. Translation. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Purport. This verse is the summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three. Number 1. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. Number 2. He who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. And number 3. He who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking them to be monists, are most predominant. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, where they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spiritual soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class includes the worshippers of the demigods, those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord. And the third class includes those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism or entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mother.
Next time. Huh. Aham karturaham yajna swadhaham aham aushadam mantroham aham evajyam aham agni aham hutam. Jnana yajna was a word, isn't it? Through the sacrifice of knowledge. Krishna says, you know, that sacrifice is me only. The kartu, that Vedic ritual is me only. Yajna. I am that yajna. I am that kratu, the Vedic ritual. I am the yajna. Swadha. I am the oblation. I am the aushadam. I am the transcendental chant. I am the ajyam. I am the melted butter. I am the agni. I am the hutam. So everything is Krishna only, no? So actually, if somebody says sacrifice to be different from Krishna, then he is in ignorance. Even if a karma kand activity is done, actually everything is Krishna. The hutam, the person who is performing, the oblation what he is giving, the agni, everything is actually Krishna. So Maya lies in our consciousness. I see something different from Krishna, then that is Maya. Krishna very clearly says, and somebody thinks that I am doing something else apart from Krishna, that is also Maya. Sometimes the Brahmana thinks, oh, I am doing it for some demigod. No demigods have the power to take, because Yajna is Krishna. One of the name of Krishna is Yajna, the flame of the tongue. The flame is compared to the tongue of Krishna. This way, even though you may say, oh, I'm doing a demigod worship, it is not a demigod worship. Every demigod knows. I cannot take. It's only Krishna who can take. That is why last what they chant, Kayena Vacha Manasindriyatva Buddhyatana Vapitasabha Karomi Yad Sakalam Prasmai Narayana Yadi Samarpayami. Everything goes to Narayana. You cannot do anything to demigods. Though you may think I'm doing to demigod, I'm doing to... No demigods will accept first. But they are in knowledge. They know they will be beaten. Like Indra wanted to take everything. Krishna told, do worship for Govardhan. And Krishna shows that Govardhan is not different from Krishna. Krishna assumed the whole form of Govardhan. Though Govardhan is a hill, but actually Krishna entered Govardhan and showed, this Govardhan is not different from me. You are actually feeding me. So Govardhan is also Krishna. Yamuna is also Krishna. Everything is actually Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. You cannot see anything different from Krishna says, I am only the butter, I am only the chanting, I am only the offering to the ancestor. Okay. So I'll read.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandvat Pranam. Aham kratur aham yajnah swadaham aham aushadam mantroham aham evajyam aham agnir aham hutam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Purport. The Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotish Toma is also Krishna. And he is also the Mahayagya mentioned in the Smriti. The oblations offered to the Pitra Loka or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitra Loka, considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna. And many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifices are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the five material elements and is therefore claimed as the separated energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or in other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
पिताहमस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रम् ओंकार ऋक्सामयजुरेव च. Krishna says, Pita Hamasya, Aham Pita, Aham Mata, Aham Dhata. I am Pitamaha also, right? I am grandfather also. I am that Vedya, Vedyam, because I am the Vedas. Or I am to be known through the Vedas, Vedyam. I am the Pavitram, Omkar. When you say Om, Om refers to whom? Krishna only. There are fools who think Om goes to Lord Shiva. No. Om is actually for Krishna. Very clearly Krishna says, I am the Om. I am Rigved. I am Ajurved. I am Samaved. Seeing something different from Krishna, that is Maya. Everything is actually Krishna's only. No demigods have the rights to take. They are all servants. That's so happened. One of the Alvar, it was Tirumaisai Alvar. Tirumaisai Alvar. Somehow he became Shiva's Upasak. People used to call, oh, he's an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. And afterwards, one of the Alvar, he taught him the truth and he became a wonderful Vaishnava. Actually, he is a great devotee. Actually, Alvar means what? One is drowned in devotion. So once it so happened, he was doing some work and Lord Shiva and Parvati were flying in the aerial plane. So then Parvati saying, see, your ardent devotee is there. Let us go there. He told, see, better leave him. He is nicely chanting Lord's name. Let us not disturb him. No. You should go. Lord Shiva knew the consequences, what is going to happen. Lord Shiva and Parvati, they are standing. And Tirumaisai was actually doing his work. He was trying to put a thread in the needle. And Lord Shiva is waiting. Parvati was so angry. Parvati said, see, even in spite of seeing us, for him, putting thread in the needle is so important. And one time he was such a great devotee of yours. And now he's making us stand, not even noticing us. You should open your third eyes. Just on the request of Parvati, he opened his third eyes just to burn Tirumaisai. Tirumaisai's bhakti was so much that third eye was, that the fire which came out of the third eye, it was like the glowworms, the glowworms comes from the fire, small glowworms. It was like that. Tirumaisai told, I am not afraid of all these things. I have Lord Sudarshan to protect me. So then Lord Shiva told, so this is bhakti. He's not afraid of all these things. Don't try to persuade me to burn him. In fact, you be afraid that let us not be burnt by Sudarshan. So in this way, devotee need not be afraid. Even Lord Shiva praises, because he is also a great devotee. He also praises those who are in devotion. It is said in Varanasi, Lord Shiva and comes and chants Ram name in everyone's ears. Whoever is leaving the body, he chants Ram. That means he is also chanting Ram only. Na? He is not telling Shiva. He is saying Ram. So that is how even Lord Shiva loves the devotees of Krishna. Okay. Mata, Pita. Anupama can read.
Hare Krishna. पिताहमस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रमोंकार ऋक्साम यजुरेव च. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. Purport. The entire cosmic manifestations, moving and unmoving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother part and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, and grandfather, etc., are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas, therefore, aim only toward Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step toward understanding Krishna. That subject matter which helps us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. And because in all hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, the Pranava or Omkara is very prominent, it is understood to be Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So in all the Vedic mantras, it starts with Om. That means every mantra is actually glorifying Krishna. That is why Vedesha Sarver Ahame Vedyaha Vedanta Pradved Videvachaham. Krishna is glorified. Even though we may try to glorify any demigod, demigods will not accept because they know what will be the consequences. So better is they offer everything back to Krishna. Tatirbharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Sruhat Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijamapyayam. Krishna says, I am the goal. What is the goal of the life? The goal of the life is to attain Krishna. I am Sakshi. I am also, Krishna says, I am Bharta. Bharta means what? Sustainer. He don't say Bharta Bengana. The Bharta means very Bharta Bengan. Bharta means what? Sustainer. I am Prabhu. I am the Lord. I am the Sakshi. I am the witness. See, I can lie to anyone. But one person is observing me. I can lie to the whole world. I can try to prove myself the best. But Krishna knows everything. He's Sakshi. He's seeing all our activities. Sharanam Sruhata. I am the refuge. Take my shelter. And then Krishna says, I am Suhrada. Surat means I am the benefactor, I am the real friend, intimate friend. Prabhavaha, Pralayaha, Sthanam. Prabhav means creation, Pralaya means destruction, Sthanam means Poshanam or maintenance. Everything I only give, Krishna says. Nidhanam, I am the resting place also. If I want to take rest, actually we are taking rest in the lap of Krishna. We think that I am taking rest in the bed. If a Krishna conscious, complete Krishna conscious person knows that he is taking less rest in the lap of Krishna. Because he is Mata, na? He is Mata, he is Dhata, he is Pita. So it is he who is giving us the sound sleep. Who is giving us sound sleep? Who gives us the rest? Aram. We say, Aram kar, Aram. Ajaram. What is Aram? Oh Lord, you come. It is you who can give me real rest. Bijam Avyayam. In this way, I am that bija. I am that seed, imperishable seed. Avyayam. Okay. Vijit Prabhu, please read.
Gadir
Gatir Bharta 18.
Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Saranam Shukur Prabhava Paralaya Sthanam Nithanam Bijam Avyayam. I am the God. This is the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal state. Gati means the destination where we want to go. But the ultimate goal is Krishna, although people do not know it. One who does not know Krishna is misled, and his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. There are many who make as their destination different demigods, and by rigid performance of the strict respective methods, they reach different planets such as Chandraloka, Suryaloka, Indraloka, Maharloka, etc. But all such lokas or planets being creations of Krishna are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. Such planets being manifestations of Krishna's energy are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as a step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. One should directly approach Krishna for that will save time and energy. For example, if there is a possibility of going to the top of a building by the help of an elevator, why should one go by the staircase step by step? Everything is resting on Krishna's energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Krishna is the supreme ruler because everything belongs to him and everything exists on his energy. Krishna is being situated in everyone's heart is the supreme witness. The residences, countries, or planets on which we live are also Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter, and therefore one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection or for annihilation of his distress. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is the supreme living entity. And since Krishna is the source of our generation, or the supreme father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be a better well-wisher. Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. Hare Krishna.
So here we'll stop. Wednesday will meet. So let us not study it when we are more tired. But they will go inside. So better is we do small little verses, but then we are fresh. And today I am also too tired. Because after Panchakarma, I feel like to sleep. Today was my Panchakarma. Okay, any questions you have in this? Yes,
Mataji,
Diya?
Hare Krishna. I actually wanted to ask, we are ignorant, like we are deluded by Maya, and we are not able to understand that everything is Krishna only. So is it actually our fault, and how should we overcome this? We should remember this.
Our Jangama Deki na Deki Taram Mati Sarvatra Hoy Vija Ishta Devasyanti, that can only come when we chant holy name and when we are in knowledge. That is why Bhagavad Gita studies will make us understand the transcendental knowledge. What is the importance of transcendental knowledge? Fourth chapter speaks about. Go to the fourth chapter, last verses. It removes a person out of illusion. It makes a person understand everything belongs to Krishna. After studying transcendental knowledge, still if we are in illusion, that means I have not studied it properly. So I should study again and again and again. Chant more. The more we chant Tesham Satataptanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna gives us buddhi. Not by our endeavor. We may by heart all the verses. We may read 100 times. But still, we may be ignorant. Like Krishna is standing before Arjuna. Still, Arjuna is in ignorance. Only by Krishna's mercy, ignorance can be removed. And to invoke Krishna's mercy, we call him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Okay.
Thank you.
Panchakarma Patidanam Pavani